welcome back to my channel where I talk about crochet and all my other hobby stuff. And if you like that kind of content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now today we're going to be talking about the books that I have read this August. I was traveling a lot back and forth. I was literally away for a week, so I was only able to finish 3 books. I know. I mean, I still think that's an accomplishment because it indicates that at least I finished like a book a week essentially. But nonetheless, I did want to read a lot more. So let's get into the books that I finished this month. So the first book that I finished was Supermarket by Bobby Hall, and it's by Logic actually. And it's about a boy named Flynn who is recently stuck and depressed and lives at home with his mom. And he's working on a novel in a supermarket, and then all of a sudden it turns into a murder mystery. This novel ain't make no sense. I'm like not even gonna lie to you, like I don't know who read this book and published it, but they need to not publish. I'm kidding, but I honestly feel like no one was fact-checking or like going back and like actually helping Logic make this book, because honestly this book was one of the worst books I have ever read. And I can say that with my chest. Why? Because half through the book we find out that he is schizophrenic, and because he's schizophrenic he kills people and is like living a double life. And it just comes off as like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem like he really understands what mental illness is or how to portray mental illness in any capacity. Like it literally just seems as though he just wrote this book on a whim. Honestly, there is a lot of racist, sexist text and dialogue in this book, and I think it's supposed to be funny, but I honestly didn't laugh, and I laugh at literally anything, and if I don't think it's funny, then it's literally not funny. And just overall bad writing. Just bad writing. Like they did the mental illness is the cause of everything trope, and I give it a 0 out of 5 stars. Why I finished it, I don't know. Like it was actually a little boring for me, but nonetheless I finished up this book and I give it a 0. Moving on. The next book I finished was honestly the best redemption that could have ever had. Is The Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I give it a 5 out of 5 out of 5 out of 5. I honestly would give it a 4.5, but I'll tell you why in a second. So basically, Xing Ying is the daughter of the Moon Goddess. She lives on the moon with her mother until one day she has to run away. And then we learn that the Moon Goddess is actually a prisoner, because she's a thief and she be stealing. So now her daughter has to realize that her mom is like a thief, but we realize that she was also stealing to survive, and her punishment was to be on the moon by herself for, I don't know, I guess eternity. But no one knew that she had a kid. So all the other people in the celestial court is like, bro, like why are we feeling strange magic if it's just you supposed to be in this prison? Because she has a daughter and no one knows about it. So this daughter, she has to run away. She doesn't want her mom to get found out. And what I love about it is it's giving Mulan. I feel like that's very stereotypical to say, but it is giving Mulan. It is someone who, you know, not necessarily is casted out, because Mulan wasn't casted out, but she was pushed out into the world, and she actually really worked from the ground up. I was very proud of Xing Ying. She could have chosen love at multiple avenues, and she didn't. She chose to be, you know, her own woman and to fight for what she wanted, and I thought that was really cool. So you see her travel. She becomes a maid, then she becomes a higher servant to a prince, and then she becomes a part of the army as one of the best archers in this world in the sky. And it's really beautiful, every single scene, to watch her grow and to navigate romance. And what I love is romance was a subplot in this fantasy novel. The main plot was the main character trying to figure out how to save her mom. Now I didn't like the plot twist at the end. They did the whole, oh, someone who is the trusted one is now evil. I don't like that trope. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, because why is it 80 pages left and we're learning someone that we trust is now someone that's evil? Sorry. I just don't personally like it. Like, I love my characters and I root for my characters, so then I hear that they're bad, I'm like, I'm tight. I'm tight. But nonetheless, 5 out of 5. I had an amazing time reading it. It was 500 pages, so I couldn't like blast through it like I normally do, and the descriptions were written so beautifully I had no choice but to take my time and read it. So I had a really good time reading Daughter of the Moon Goddess. The next book that I started reading was Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, the same person that wrote A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I honestly didn't finish it. I couldn't finish it because we start the novel, we still talking about the same thing from the last book. If you're not familiar with the last book, essentially Pip was navigating her like capstone project on a murder that happened in her town. The two people who were murdered were Andy and Sal, and her whole gig was that she was trying to prove that Sal did not kill Andy and it was someone else, and she successfully did it. Great, beautiful book. In this book, we still talking about Sal, we still talking about Andy. Like, I think I got 3-4 pages in and we're still talking about the same things from the first book. Like, ma'am, like, this is book 2, not book 1.5. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there needs to be some type of progression, and I wasn't getting it and I wasn't feeling it. I'm like, I'm not about to read the same book again. Not about to read I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars, but I'm not reading the same book in a different iteration. I'm just not. So I had to move on to my next book, which is The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. So I did not finish it, but I am on page 81, and look at my cute little bookmark. It's a mushroom. And essentially it is about a town that exists, and around the town is this place called a moor, which is kind of like, I want to say like an ancient tea forest, but essentially it surrounds the town. And the people within the town are very skeptical of like witches and the moor. Like, they don't really like to venture out or learn things that they're not supposed to know. The main character, her parents passed away. I think the main character is Lexi. The main character's name is Lexi. Her father passed away. She's a very curious girl. She takes care of her mother and her younger sister. She's a bit of a troublemaker. She doesn't like to follow the rules, you know. But the cool thing about Lexi is that Lexi is, the things that she does and likes is disapproved a lot by the town. And she don't care. She's like, okay. Like, the whole book is not about like, oh, you're a woman, you can't do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It's not about that. It's like, you can't do this because you're a woman. Lexi's like, okay, like, anyway, next chapter. So I think that's really cool that it's breaking gender roles, like breaking gender standards without being too on the nose. Either way, a stranger shows up to town, and the way V.E. Schwab describes it is honestly like chef's kiss. It's like he shows up at the windowsill and she's looking out, and then she blinks for like 2 seconds, and then the body like rips apart, almost like a glitch, like it was never there. And everybody's like, a stranger? We surrounded by woods, like, who is up here that we don't know? So it's causing some issues in town, because people are like, okay, so who's the stranger, where he at, like, what is he doing? And Lexi's like very intrigued because her dad was a very curious person, a very big investigator, or like a big part of the town, and indulgent in the spirituality of the town as well. And Lexi wants to find the stranger first before everyone else does, because everyone else is likely to cast him out or like cause him some violent harm. But Lexi, you know, lonely after her father passed, is definitely in the need of new company. So she's motivated to talk to this stranger for her own reasons. But then we also learned that as soon as a stranger appears, a child goes missing. So we know that something is happening in the town, but we don't know what. And this is all in 80 pages. So far, I'm very happy. I'm very excited to see where the novel goes. But aside from that, yeah, like, that is it. I haven't, you know, read much, but I probably will read more in October. as things are starting to kind of kick up and both settle down. But aside from that, if you like this video, please like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.